Hi, is this Adam?
Hi, yes, this is him.
Awesome, Adam. So my name's Donald Pump. I'll be your interviewer for today. So the interview is going to be about 30 minutes. Does that all sound fine?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Perfect. So let's start off with an easy question. So tell me, why do you want to work at Disney?
Yeah, so it's always been a dream of mine to work at Disney, and I really want to make magic.
Okay, is there anything else that you want to add to that answer?
No, that's my final answer.
Okay, awesome. Definitely have not heard that answer before. So let's move on to an even easier question now. So tell me, what is your favorite Disney character?
Yeah, so my favorite Disney character, I have to say it would be Snoopy.
Homie, did you say Snoopy?
Yes, Snoopy the dog. He's just so inspirational.
Yeah, so Snoopy is not a Disney character, but good try. I actually have to jump to another meeting, but thank you for the time. I know we only spent a few minutes, but I'll definitely follow up with an email on next steps. But thank you for your time, and Universal's hiring down the street. Thank you. So, to make sure that your interview doesn't end up like that, today I wanted to go over my experience applying and interviewing for the Walt Disney Company. And the Walt Disney Company and how they manage their professional internships is very different from any other company, so I wanted to go over the nuances of how they run their programs. So with this, let's get started on first the application phase and then my interview process. So with my applying phase, it took me about a year and a half to land my first internship at the Walt Disney Company. And this is considering the fact that I had multiple internships. I had a pretty good resume having interned at PwC and at Uber, but despite this, I had to apply over 41 times to Disney internships. And after this, I got 5 interviews, and out of those 5 interviews, I got 1 offer. So it's very low odds of landing one of these internships, but I hope today in like the learnings that I give back from my application phase and interview phase that you're more easily able to land one of these internships. So with the application phase, applied to a lot of them, and although I had a very much a finance background, my past 2 internships were in finance, I still applied for other roles within like marketing and a bunch of different other functions that I found interesting. And I had a better success chance when applying to finance internships rather than the marketing ones that I wanted to try out. I wanted to see if I was interested in them, but I had very little success with the marketing internships. I just kept getting denied left and right. But with these finance internships, I did make it to the final round for one of them. But just to completely say why Disney internships are different from other internship programs. So typically for internships, you could only apply when you're in college. But for Disney internships, you could still apply a year within when you graduated from college. So you could be freshly graduated and applying for these roles. And when I made it to the final round for one of these interviews, they preferred that their intern be already a college grad so they can convert that college grad into a full-time offer. So that's something into consideration when applying for these Disney internships. And you want to make sure that you tailor your resume to the job descriptions of every job posting that you're applying to. This is just only going to increase the chances that you actually get an interview. And with the process of getting a Disney internship, the hardest part of the process is getting that first round interview, hands down. So if you're lucky enough to get that first round interview, your chances of landing that internship increase drastically. And I highly recommend that you're consistently looking at the Disney career page daily to see if there's any new internships that you're interested in, because with all these internships, they're on a rolling basis. So if you apply 2 weeks later that it's already posted, they might be already in the first round interviews and they might not even consider your application because you applied too late. So you want to apply as soon as possible because you don't know how fast they are going to go with this current opening. And if you have the opportunity to do Disney's college program, I also recommend that if you severely just want to do a Disney professional internship and end up working at the company full time, it's a pipeline. So Disney college program people are more likely to land an internship, and then those internship people are more likely to landing a full-time job at the company. So it's a complete pipeline that they set up, and they really did this, and it's very different from other companies because they want to make sure that their workers are passionate about the company and have a high affinity. And when applying for these internships, yes, you could reach out to like the hiring manager or recruiters, but more likely than not, the hiring manager and the recruiter are going to be getting so many messages during this time period that it kind of makes reaching out pretty useless. Nonetheless, this could be a tactic to increasing your odds of landing an internship, but wouldn't highly recommend it. And now moving over to the interview phase. So during my 1.5 years of applying to Disney internships, I did end up getting asked the question of, what is my favorite Disney character? And I would say these interviews are very unconventional to like typical interviews that I've had in the interview process. So you'll have one recruiter call. So this is just to basically go over your resume to make sure that you're a qualified applicant to going into the next round. But with the second round, this is typically the final round. So usually it spans from a 30 to 45 minute call. And with this final round interview, I've had it span from interviewing with the entire department to interviewing with only 2 people on the team. So it could vary on the amount of people that you're interviewing with. And if you're interviewing with a lot of people with the department, don't get too overwhelmed. Typically it's one person that's leading the interview, and the other people that are in the meeting, they're just there to like observe, and usually they only ask like one question in the entire interview. And every interview team, they're gonna ask different questions. I really didn't have much overlap for the questions that I received. And bonus point, I'd take a screenshot of the description that you're applying to, because typically they take it down. So you want to make sure that you take a screenshot of it to make sure that you know what the job entails. So make sure that you do that. And for interview questions, I would really focus on, and since every interview is very different, I would focus on being able to define your job position, some of the processes that you might have to do, and some of the technical skills that you might have to use as well, like Excel, like PowerPoint. So I would make sure that you're able to nail down these questions. And then you're probably gonna get asked questions on your affinity to Disney. How well do you know the products? How well do you know the segmentations of the different lines of businesses? And you wanna make sure that you're able to define your line of business. So that's how I would focus on preparing for the interview. And it's very consequential that you do well in every single question, even if it's a simple question like, what's your favorite Disney character? Because you only have 30 to 45 minutes to show the interviewers that you're the best candidate for the position. Because for Disney internships, there's only one internship for each job position that they post. So you want to make sure that you leave a memorable impression and that you don't give vague answers like, oh, it's my dream to always work at Disney. Everybody's gonna say that, everybody's gonna say cliche answers, but you wanna make sure that your answers are very unique and that you show a strong interest of wanting to work at the Walt Disney Company for that specific position. So just to quickly recap, you need to give very unique and memorable answers to questions. You need to be able to define the job position and some of the processes that you might do, and also answer some of the problems that you might face in this role as well. And lastly, interviews are a two-way street, so you want to make sure that you're asking them questions as well to make sure that that position is a good fit for you. And if you're able to show this and ask engaging questions, that's only a bonus as well. And try to make the interview conversational, because at the end of the day, they want an intern that's going to be positive, that's going to be energetic, and someone that they want to work with. So that basically wraps up my experience applying and interviewing for the Walt Disney Company. It's definitely not easy to land an internship at this company, and is very different from other companies as well, but I hope this video is helpful for landing a professional internship. And with that, that wraps up my yap for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Able to define the job.